And welcome everybody to Facebook Live. I'm Janet Harvey, CEO of Invite Change, and I am joined today by one of my most favorite people on the planet. And here she is. I always get this wrong. Here we go. You have to think mirror image on this live video platform, right? Anyway, I am joined today by Magdalena Mook. Now, she doesn't need any introduction to the coaching community, but there are many of you listening today who are working inside of organizations who care about social cause. How do I know that? Because you're interested in this conference. So let me tell you a little bit about Magda, and then we're going to turn the floor over to her to share a bit about her perspective. So Magda has an extraordinary background, and the first day I met her in 2008 when she was welcoming me to the International Coaching Federation board, I learned that she holds a master's degree in economics and international trade from Poland's Warsaw School of Economics. Oh, fine. I did my master's in economics. She's already way ahead of me because not only has she done that, she went to the Copenhagen Business School and has an advanced degree in international management and consulting. Of course, she sits on lots of boards. She's part of the founding member of the Institute for Organizational Mindfulness, the Women's Foreign Policy Council, the Forbes Council, let's see, Association for Talent Development, and oh yeah, aren't you also a director for the Association Executives, right?
Yeah, American Society of Association
There
Executives.
You go.
Yes. ASA.
And of course, over the years, in her role as CEO and executive director for the International Coaching Federation, which, for those of you that aren't familiar, is the largest global association dedicated to professional coaching. We're operating on 6 continents. The only one we've missed is the penguins in Antarctica. We just haven't quite gotten there yet.
Working on it.
Yeah, and that's her transformative spirit. So Magda, welcome, and thank you for taking some time to talk with me a bit about the conference and your keynote speaking role.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for being even considered. It is true that Janet and I go back a long way. I didn't even remember 2008, but okay, we're aging ourselves. But it's been always hand in hand with Janet on looking into what's needed, not only what's possible, but what's needed, and how coaching and coaches can really bridge the gap. And social progress is becoming such an important piece of the economy, if you will. Look into the growth of a social sector in different countries, including United States. Think about organizations and corporations who are so very committed to their social corporate responsibility goals. So I think that this is a time, and this is definitely the time to take this conversation to the different level. I'm not going to say higher level, but the different level, because maybe it's the broader conversation that will result in outcomes that we all will be proud of. So yes. Thanks again for the invite.
Oh, you bet. You know, I've always felt that it's been held as an either or. You're either philanthropic or you're profitable. You wait until you're profitable enough to be philanthropic, and then you get too far away from actually the real work that moves something forward to the solutions that are needed. We often think about philanthropy as a wish or a hope or a possibility. And we miss the real pragmatic aspect of it, which is who we're being and how we operate. And that's the domain of coaching in my mind. Coaches care. They're coaches because they want to bring out the best in other people. And I know you're a coach, and I'm so excited that not only do you stand in leadership, but you fully walk the talk by embracing and embodying coaching. And I think it might be useful for the leaders in this audience to hear, how do you describe what coaching is and its impact, in particular in social progress work?
So many richness in short statement you just made. So first, let me say that, as you said, many organizations think we have to make profit first before we can think about social responsibility. It can be a flip side, can be true for not-for-profit organizations, because it's like, oh, we're not for profit. Well, we say in association words, no margin, no mission. So not-for-profit organizations are equally equipped to create resources in order to deliver on their mission, and these are mission-driven organizations. I am a professionally trained coach. If I were asked to identify or classify myself, I would probably say I'm a leader using coaching skills, as running ICF is a full-time job. And because of that, I have a very amazing ability to working with people, as you said, 6 continents, 140 plus countries where ICF has its members, which is phenomenal, and also pointing to the fact that coaching is a very universal profession, and the profession and the skill and the modality that is accessible in all of those 140 plus countries. For me, what is the crucially important about coaching is that it's a partnership that is to evoke the greatest potential in a person, system, organization, frankly, humanity, when you sum it up. It is holding a coach as an expert in process, and holding a client as an expert, or coachee as an expert in their life. It is a very thought-provoking and innovating conversation that perhaps is not happening much in other spheres, because there is no boundary, if you will, there is no fear. There is an unbridled conversation about what's possible, and not only, as we said, what's possible, but what's needed. Often there is a gap in between the two, something that we owe to our common colleague from the ICF Foundation, that we tend to just think about what's possible, and then we say, but this is not enough. So coaching to me is that amazing ability to bridge our thinking from where we are through what we think is possible to what we know is needed.
So we're talking about our colleague, Morel Foreman, for those of you that might be familiar with the foundation, who happens to also be a speaker for the conference, and we'll talk with him a little later in the summer. But there's something else you said that I think's useful to add on to your definition of coaching that's been near and dear to my heart, which is that when we imagine what's possible, we are allowing the imagination to go to ideal, something that is, I don't know, maybe perfect would even be in some people's vocabulary. And if we stop there, we miss out on understanding what's actually happening, what is happening. And that actually lives at the point of interaction with whatever we're working with, whether it's climate emergency or a healthy community or human trafficking, which are our causes for the conference. What I've been thinking about over the years is how important it is that we restore an individual's belief that they have resource and capability to apply. That there's such a tendency to get overwhelmed by the size of these kinds of causes that are borderless. Everybody on the planet has some impact already present in their day-to-day lives in all 3 of these cause areas. And yet we think it's somebody else's job to do something about it. And I envisioned this conference because I wanted leaders who care about these causes, whether they are in foundations already working in this space, philanthropy arms of companies, or leaders who volunteer their time outside of their day jobs, or coaches who support people who are in this work, to realize that the first step is to believe that you have what it takes to think more deeply about what's needed, to Morel's point, and believe in the people who are on the ground doing the work, that they have what it takes to step up and think more creatively. And I think we take that for granted. And so many people in the world say to me, if they'll just believe in me, I have what it takes to do this. Now, I want us to be in that co-learning space together. And I wonder, how would you articulate why coaching amplifies? Why does coaching accelerate an individual's capacity to apply to social work?
I think I would venture into 2 parallel tracks. One is that, as you said, we often are overwhelmed with what we are facing, and we think, oh, I can do nothing. Only not having ability to look around and see that we are a collective, perhaps, of people who thinks they can't do anything. So first of all, the awareness about the fact that yes, every single person can do something, and every single person can contribute to just a little bigger initiative, and a bigger and a bigger and bigger. So it's
Domino effect. Yeah.
like a water, right? You just contribute to the tributary, and it ends up in the ocean. Awesome. Let's boil the ocean. So that's one thing that coaching certainly can do, opening up the awareness of an individual of what is their potential, their possibility, their contribution, if only they choose to look at it that way. And then, what we see through work of coaches in the globe is that coaching influences or can influence the leadership of organizations who are set up to make a difference, who are created in order to help guide how the world is changing. At ICF, and especially ICF Foundation, we subscribe to 2030 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. That's a great framework. And if you look into just the sheer number of organizations, individuals, institutions, countries that subscribe to that framework, that's empowering. And that's telling you that, yeah, I can be a single person in a larger framework that can lead to amazing results. And coaching is, for me, in my own experience, really bringing that self-awareness and awareness of the system, knowing that one can really dream big. And who was it? Richard Branson, who said that if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. So that's part of it. Just give yourself permission, not only to look for what's needed, but to dream of that ideal, that then we can find a way. If only we can paint that picture, we can find a way. And to me, this is exactly what this conference is all about. Do we have answers? No. Will we have all answers by the end of it? Probably not. But we will offer our own color to that overall painting of the ideal.
And in so many ways, I just love your answer, because there are parallel swim lanes. Everybody has a piece of this picture. Mm-hmm. We rarely spend time with each other in exchange of how we see the world, what is happening, and therefore what we could imagine to move it forward. And so I'd like everybody to think about the conference as an inflection point. We're going to come together for 2 days on the 10th and the 11th. We will have a little celebratory thing on the 9th that has to do with Coaches Care, but we'll save that for another Facebook Live. On the 10th and 11th, there'll be time to spend with Magda and all of the more than 40 speakers who are coming together to share their expertise in doing work in social progress in those tracks of climate emergency, healthy communities, and human trafficking. And time to sit down and say, if we did a project together, what would it be? Mm-hmm. So it is co-learning, it is about community, and it's about how do we get activated and commit to move something forward for a couple of years until we're back together again in 2022. So this is a conference we imagine every other year to draw from all around the world and help us all remember we are resourceful and capable and innately creative to make this happen. So Magda, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us this morning. I'm so excited that we're partnering on this. And those of you that want to stick around, we'll stay here on Facebook and answer your comments and questions. And tune in to bechoosecause.com. That's the website where you can see what we're up to and register for the conference. We're still in the early bird opening, so now's the time to pull out that credit card.
Thanks for being here. Thank you for creating that space, because I think a lot of many of us are really more attuned to what is happening around us and how we can, in fact, make a difference together, individually, as a collective. So thank you for creating that space, and thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a deep privilege and a long time dream of mine. Margaret Mead was right. If you want something magnificent done, give it to a small group of people who will then ignite the mass. And that's what we're up to. So thanks for coming to play the bigger game.
Thank
All
you.
right, everybody. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Bye.